Aloha, it's Christina Hemming, and I'm here to give you a brief astrology reading for the time of mid-February to mid-March. And I'm doing so because there's going to be a solar eclipse that travels from Seattle all the way to North Carolina. And apparently when the shadow crosses over an area, it brings intensity to that area. So the first thing that I've noticed about the eclipse, and I made a brief little chart here with the chart of the USA moon established in 1776. The moon of the United States chart is in Aquarius. And so here's the United States moon, and there's going to be sun with the south node opposite moon with the north node on February 11th. And so when the south node is conjunct the moon, there's going to be a lot of sadness there. Obviously, draining for women. So sun with the south node on the moon, for me, it's like, okay, here's the arrival of the new patriarchal system that does not value women. And not necessarily saying just Donald Trump, but the people that are surrounding him are not necessarily the most progressive people so far that we have been able to see. So we should be looking at, a drain on the water system, fracking and pollution, drain for women, a sadness emotionally for the country, and a move away from a collective consciousness in Aquarius, where for the benefit of the whole, into a singular, narcissistic, ego-centered power base that's all about me, 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 and moon conjunct north node. Also, Donald Trump himself has Sun, North Node, and Uranus in his 10th house, and Moon, South Node in his 4th house. So let's just talk about that. The Sun, Uranus, North Node has given great rise and great ups and downs in his professional world. It's given him a bully type personality that's very eccentric and very oriented, as it's at the end of Taurus, beginning of Gemini, towards Mrigashira, towards, not being beautiful, but Mrigashira is the gentle deer in the sky. It is about beauty, but with Uranus there, it's going to manipulate people's addictions to make money. This administration is going to take advantage even more the addictions that already plague our society. Video stuff, drugs, alcohol. Even though he doesn't drink, he owns gambling casinos that sell alcohol, right? So he doesn't drink, but he's happy to make money off of people's addictions. So we're seeing that. And then with his moon conjunct the south node, and Saturn is transiting there, he's been going through a hard time emotionally. He's been going through a hard time with his wife and with women. He's pretty cut off from the woman, the female aspect as empowered. He wants to be, he's the man of the house, and the woman has her place. And he will be running the government that way. But now Saturn's coming up on his moon and south node. I don't see happy times for him and Melania. I think the whole, I don't want to live in the White House because I don't feel comfortable there or whatever. It's going to be draining for him. And of course, he's doing it his way. But whether or not people are going to sink into complacency and passiveness and just allow him to do whatever he wants, like for instance the way the nepotism is already going with the family and the lack of neutrality, that's nothing compared to what's going to be happening. I mean, we're going to see a lot of self-enrichment, and that's going to mean that you and I are all going to have to make choices of how we make a living, what we're going to put our money and time and energy into, because it's going to be very easy to throw the earth away to make money underneath his administration. So do you want to participate in that or not? The whole move away from the collective good into the ego-centered good, uh, elderly health care in general for people, education, the environment, water, all of these things are going to be suffering. And I really want to encourage people to be their authentic self. If you don't like the way things are going, shut off the TV, shut off the internet, get into your body, get into your creative self, do yoga, look at the trees, listen to the wind, feel the sun, get into nature. I mean, let's face it, electricity's been around 150 years. We all drive around in these cars, but we're still primal animals on the planet. So we need to elevate our consciousness. And something that's going to be helping that is the main aspect that I wanted to talk about, which is Jupiter, our inspirational belief systems, religion, or anything that inspires faith and inspiration. And a belief system is opposing Uranus. So shaking the tree, so to speak, like Peter Gabriel is shaking the tree. Let's get rid of old, outdated modes of thinking that don't work for us and embrace radical new energy. But it can also be, let's get rid of the radical and get entrenched in the old patriarchal system, because it's all getting squared Pluto here. So here's Jupiter opposite Uranus, and it's getting squared Pluto. Now what's happening here is that in the end of February, beginning of March, Mars is going to be transiting over Venus, and then it's going to hit Uranus. We're going to see a lot of flooding at that time. Of course, I was thinking, oh yeah, okay, I predict flooding at the end of February, beginning of March. Of course, the snowpack starts melting. So, but nonetheless, we could see flooding, some earth activities, and a lot of very agitated energy. So if you yourself are feeling agitated, if you yourself are wanting to quit that job, break up with that partner, leave your state, or just like throw it in and become your radical independent self, I want you to know that this is a passing time right now. And if you really want to do it slowly and methodically, and think through things. Don't just kick the can down the road and throw everything away and start over again. That's a waste of time and energy. So we have to be methodical. We have to be calculating. The Uranus opposite Jupiter is excellent for innovation in technology and medical field for me. So I think that there's a lot of room for improvement in the medical field and merging technology with medical. I'm not talking about really necessarily nanotechnology, but there's a lot of room for upgrading medical and technology. And the kids that were born in the late 80s, they're right on that leading edge of that. They've got Uranus, Neptune, and Saturn conjunct at the end of Sag. And there's Pluto. There's Pluto right there, right now. And it has been there for the last couple of years. So are you embracing your unique, smart self that's got radical ideals and dreams that you want to manifest into reality? All the app people, all the new technologies that are coming out. Those people have been embracing their mathematical, scientific minds, merging ideals and then making something concrete. The opposite side of that is the opiate war that has been sort of forced down the throats of the American culture since we have solidified the pipeline to the opiate world through the war in Afghanistan. Let's be real about that. I mean, why else did we invade Afghanistan except to establish a pipeline of opiates? To what? To repress people, to keep people in a constant state of confusion, to sideline a tremendous amount of creative energy. I mean, the millennial generation is larger than the baby boomer generation. So as the baby boomers age, the millennial generation is going to be even bigger. And you guys have been pacified with handheld devices, pacified through the opiate industry. You've been isolated behind the computers. I grew up before any of that happened. So I like to talk to people face to face. I don't want to sit and meet people behind the computer. Oh, I mean, I am doing this. I'm using the computer as a tool, but it's not my only thing. And I want to encourage you guys to wake up. Wake up, late 80s generation, and embrace your power. Embrace your radical thinking. Embrace your revolutionary thinking. And don't get bogged down under the repressive patriarchal lineage that has now been voted in and has been in power for many, many years with a different mask. Oh, we're pro-gay, we're pro-woman, oh, we're anti-gay, we're anti-woman. What's behind that? It's still an energy coming in. And so I just want to complete this by saying there'll be flooding, there'll be a lot of agitated energy, so be mindful of what you say. You could say something or do something that you don't mean, that you regret later on. You could also come up with an idea that's brilliant. This is a brilliant time right now. And the stock market will be going up and down. So, if you believe in the stock market, then you want to buy on the dip, sell at the high. Be mindful of what you're investing in. And let's strive to do our best for this new year. Not just for the collective, but for ourselves in a way that will feed the whole in a better way. And with that, I hope that this little reading has been inspirational for you. If you want a reading, please contact me at christinahemming@yahoo.com. Aloha.